Hey guys, I'm WWII here, and today I'm coming back at you with another haul video. Now we're going to be looking at a TMC haul, or the Minifig Co. I'm sure that most of you guys who are watching this video know what TMC is, so I'm not going to go into the explanation of who they are, other than that they sell lots of minifigures, lots of minifigure parts, and lots of brick arms. So without any further delay, why don't we jump right into these figures? So I guess first of all, we could go over the freebies that I got. I actually like that TMC is now sending freebies consistently with their orders, because that's definitely not how it was in the past. So right here, I believe we have a Luger. This looks like it's kind of a glittery mint green. And then we have, I believe that this is either a British assault rifle or this is some sort of sci-fi rifle. I'm honestly not 100% sure. I could be totally wrong. I'm sure one of you guys will correct me in the comments, but why don't we jump into the actual figures now. So these are going to be figures obviously based upon the Pacific theater of World War II. Just a huge wide variety of Americans we have right here. I don't really collect a lot of figures for World War II, as you guys probably have known. I say that in many of my videos that I don't really do that, but I do occasionally get ones that I think are particularly fun and particularly cool. That's essentially, my criteria. I want to have some stuff that's, really fun to look at. So why don't we just jump into these figures? A lot of them have similar designs, but on, of course, this kind of frog skin, and then just the conventional dark green, I guess we can call it. So why don't we look at them side by side, because that'll be most time efficient for this video. So as you can see right here, let me try and get the light to hit it a little bit better. I think that we're getting better. Oh, this looks substantially better. How about that? I think that looks pretty good. So as you can see, these are two machine gun carriers or machine gun infantry soldiers, as you can see right here. Both of them kind of have a similar loadout. I believe that they have some M1 pouches beneath their ammo strap. However, as you can see, for the frog skin guy, his ammo strap is actually tucks kind of in behind the belt, as you can see over here. In comparison to the dark green one, you can see it kind of goes over his M1 pouches. Then of course they both have that grenade, and the the camouflage is obviously the biggest difference between the two figures. Now we move on to the sides of these guys. Again, they have more M1 pouches wrapping around, and I would like to note, I'm not going to show this on every minifigure because it would take a lot of time, but there is inside leg printing, should I say, for all of new TMC releases, which is really nice to hear and really nice to see. I think that it really adds a super high layer of detail to all of these minifigures, and it really takes a lot of them to the next level. So I just wanted to give them a shout out for making that standard across all of their minifigures. Now if we go to the back of these two fellows right here, what we can see is some slight differences in terms of their loadout here. As you can see on the left, on the dark ground figure, they both have, I'll start off with a similarity. They both have the smiley face and the TMC rules, which is just a little funny on their neck. But besides that, we have a canteen here, slightly different designs on these two figures. I believe, if I'm entirely correct, it looks like it to me, but maybe you guys can point it out in the comments if I'm wrong. And then the biggest difference is, as you can see, this guy has a pack, whereas this guy does not have a pack. He just has those M1 pouches, what I believe are M1 pouches, and this guy also has those M1 pouches over here. So that's kind of the biggest difference between the two minifigures. Really awesome. These guys are really great. You don't really need a lot of these guys because obviously they're carrying the MG ammo, so there's not going to be a bunch of those guys in a squad or in a platoon or anything like that. So I think 2 is more than enough to satisfy my needs. Next, why don't we look at the officers on these two figures. So again, we'll kind of just try and move quickly through both of these guys right here, if I can get them facing the camera a little bit better. I think that looks good. Hopefully it is focusing. I actually think it needs to be a little bit further. Maybe it'll focus better. There we go. So as you can see, they both have the pistol pouches on the front. They have, this guy has the Y strap, I believe is what you call it, and this guy just kind of has a normal belt. They both have the pouch right here, and then, you know, you can't see it as well on this guy, but you can see it very well on the dark green guy. You can see the USMC. I believe that's what it says, for United States Marine Corps, along with the Marine Corps logo. Now, if we look at the sides of these figures, obviously we're looking at opposite sides. I guess they can hold hands in front of the camera while we're looking at them. But we have some M1 pouches, and then we kind of have maybe like a map pouch or something like that. That would be my best guess for the dark green figure. Now we're moving on to the back here. Slightly different, of course, mainly because of that webbing that of course has to come around from the front for the frog skin camo minifigure. But other than that, very similar, kind of the same stuff on both sides. Now we'll flip them around. I guess we can lift up this side. We'll check out, he has a map pouch on his side, and then he has nothing on this other side. So that kind of covers these two officer figures. I know maybe not the most in-depth look at the entire body, but I feel like I have given, you know, a decent look at what each one is. And I believe that there are actually some other YouTubers out there who have given more in-depth reviews of these entire bodies. So if you want to go check them out, you can, and you can kind of get a deeper dive. But these are the two officers. So why don't we move on from those guys? We can look at the medics next, I guess, because I see them right there. So it'll just be most convenient since they were right on the top. But as you can see, if I can get it to focus, let's see. I believe it is focused now. So as you can see, he has two pouches on the front, along with they both have, I don't know what this is called. It's, you know, they're straps. I don't really have anything else to say. And then you can also see Superior printed on their neck piece. Really nice printing all around. I really like the addition of kind of the camouflage on the bottom, along with this dark green on the top. I think that's really cool. And then also you can actually see a sweat stain that was printed on. I'm kind of curious what you guys think of these. If you've made it to this point of the video, what do you guys think of these sweat stains? I'm kind of 50-50 on them because I think that you can't get a lot of the same minifigure if you're trying to army build if they all have that same sweat stain, because it wouldn't make any sense if, you know, a bunch of dudes all sweated in the same spot. I think it looks a little silly. But, you know, everyone has their own opinions on that. Now, if we look at the back of these two figures, both relatively similar. As you can see right here, actually pretty much the same. We can now scroll to the sides real quick. I'm gonna guess that they don't have anything on the sides since they're just the medic figures, and I would be correct. This guy actually has a bayonet or a knife tucked into his boot, which is actually pretty cool to look at. And then this guy, of course, has nothing. So I actually like that little added touch. So moving on from those guys, why don't we look at, let's find some M1s, or I guess I found a Thompson figure. Am I gonna find another one? I am. Here we are. Okay, now we're looking at the two Thompson figures that I got. They're both the same as far as I can tell. If I can get the camera focusing on them. There we go, I think it's focused now. As you can see, we have all of the Thompson pouches on the front, along with a little grenade here. I'll let you guys, you know, kind of look at these torsos, these minifigures for a little bit. I don't really think that there's much to say. I've kind of talked a lot about, you know, the camouflage and these minifigures already in their other forms. So why don't you guys just, you know, take a gander at them. Now we'll look at the back of both of these figures. They both have kind of the same outfit. They have that same pouch. They have their bedroll, I believe that's what it is, also wrapped on top of that. Then they have some M1 pouches, I believe. Now maybe those are different pouches. Maybe they carry other stuff in them, like medical, some, you know, small medical supplies or something else. I don't know. Someone can correct me on that. And then of course they have their canteens. Now in terms of the size, as you can see, this guy has the bayonet or knife tucked into his boot, as does this guy. In terms of pouches on the side, does not look like they have pouches on the side. So that is the Thompson figure. Now, why don't we look at, I believe that there was a bandolier figure. So here is the bandolier figure. I think that it was only on this kind of frog skin camouflage. Hopefully this is frog skin. Otherwise, I've been saying it's frog skin this entire time when it isn't. But I'm pretty sure it is. So hopefully that is correct. But if I can just get this bent at the right angle, we can take a peek at it. So as you can see, he has what looks like to be a knife right here. Of course, he has the bandolier going across his body, and then he has this grenade right here as well, and then he has all of his M1 pouches for his rifle. Now if we move around to the side, he has more M1 pouches. We look around on the other side, he also has more M1 pouches, and then on the back, if it will focus, he has that same backpack, and hopefully, I keep calling it a bedroll, so hopefully it is a bedroll, but he has that same loadout there. And as I said, you know, I'm not gonna show you guys, I already showed you guys once and I said I wouldn't show it again, but I guess I am. But just look at those inner legs. The printing is just fantastic. I'm really glad that this has been made standard. It's just really awesome. So what's next? Why don't we look at, I guess we have a bar minifigure. Why don't we have some M1 figures? So here we have two M1 figures. One, of course, with the camouflage and one in the dark green. So once this is focused, we can take a peek at them. As you can see, hopefully, I don't think it's focused. Sometimes this camera just doesn't want to cooperate, which I feel like this is one of those times. So bear with me, should only be a couple seconds. That looks focused now. So as you guys can see, he has the M1 pouches on the front, and then he has that Y strap. I believe that's what it is. Hopefully it is. Versus the camouflage guy, he has the knife, and then he has a grenade. So slightly actually different loadouts for these figures, but you know, that's welcome. And then on the back, he has that same pouch again. I'm gonna toss him off now since we've looked at him. And then on his back, he also has that same pouch. I guess I actually haven't shown you the inside of a dark green figure, but this is what it looks like, the inner legs. If it'll focus, they just look really good, as I keep saying. Now moving on, here is the BAR figure, the bar figure. You just see he has bigger pouches, not much more. I'm not really gonna show much on this figure. He's the same as everybody else. He just has those larger pouches for his larger magazines. And then finally, we have what I believe we can consider kind of like some crew figures. So at least on the right in the camouflage, that guy is definitely crew. And I guess on the left, we can more consider him kind of like the crew on a vehicle, you know, like a tank or something like that. So obviously different. This guy has a belt and kind of just his normal uniform and some pockets, as you can see. And then this guy has a holster with a pistol. Now, if we move these to the back, we'll obviously see some sort of difference. Just the, you know, the belt continuing around, and then for the vehicle crewman, whatever you want to call him on the left, the continuation of his holster. Now, what I do think is actually interesting, if we look at this, it appears that this is only 180 degrees, which is very, very uncommon for TMC. Obviously, they shifted the entire torso, but it's only a 180 degree, like, visible print beyond the torso printing, or beyond the color shifting, should I say, which is interesting. I also think that it's a little bit odd how this pistol strap or pistol holster was done, because it kind of just ends there. You think that it might continue at least around the bottom, kind of like right here or on the top of the legs. And then, yeah, it's fine on this side. I think that there's really nothing else that you could put there, but I think that maybe this side could have used the extension of the holster. But, you know, small things. These are awesome minifigures. As I said, I don't generally collect World War II really much at all anymore. You know, of course, in the past I did, but the past is the past. So that's kind of the majority of the haul, or that's all of the haul, should I say, minus the two freebie brick arms that are off to the side. I'm not going to toss them in there now. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to add. So as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe to the normal stuff, and I'll catch you next time.